What's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about Instagram story vlogs and cinematic Instagram stories or IGTV videos, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to show you how I personally create my Instagram stories and how you can make the most out of these little stories. The first thing I want to say is that I'm shooting my Instagram stories with a Canon RP and, a 16 to 35mm lens. Previously, I used to use the Canon 5D Mark IV. That's just what I have. And for me personally, I want to get the maximum amount of quality. So this is just what I use. You don't have to have a big camera like this. You can also use your smartphone or any camera that you do have with you. Alright, so as y'all know, Instagram stories are only really 15 seconds. You have to have a beginning, middle, and an end in that video, and you kind of have to get straight to the point within that 15 seconds. So what I like to do is do a little bit of B-roll, maybe a portion of me talking, and then end with the solution of the video. Or I just like to, add up a whole bunch of cinematic B-roll and then just let that be the whole story. If you're filming with your camera, like I'm doing right now, you don't want to film in landscape mode, which is this way. You want to be filming in vertical mode, and yes, that's a little weird and kind of unorthodox, but if you do it this way, you will get the maximum quality of your image because Instagram stories are vertical, and if you film horizontal, you're cutting everything else out but the very middle of the frame. When you're filming these Instagram stories, you have to be straight to the point. You can't really have a lot of build-up in your video. You have to be like snappy, you have to be straight to the point. The shots have to be very quick, so when you're filming, just keep that in mind, that the shots have to be really fast and really snappy. With Instagram story vlogs, it doesn't have to be 15 seconds long. If you're trying to film your whole day, or you're going on vacation, or you're just going out and exploring something new, each story can only be 15 seconds, so you can film each small story and incorporate that into a larger story. So say you're making breakfast, that could be one story. The second story could be you going to your car, getting a car wash, maybe going to an event, even going out for dinner. Each one of those could be its own separate little story to compile into a whole day, it being multiple stories, if that makes sense. When you're uploading them, remember to upload each specific story one at a time, and make sure it's uploaded before it gets confused and maybe it goes breakfast, you at dinner, you at an event, and then it goes you in the car. It might be kind of weird, so just make sure you upload one at a time. Make sure it's uploaded before you upload the next one. So yes, even though Instagram stories only last for 24 hours, you can also put them into a highlight on your Instagram page and they can last forever. So if you do end up creating an Instagram story vlog and it's 5 or 6 small stories, you could put it into a highlight and make that a whole story. Essentially edits out to being a whole Instagram story vlog, and that's the way I like to do it. In case you go on vacation, you could edit all these little stories together, throw it up in a highlight and name it like Alberta, maybe a specific event that you went to. Maybe you're just a foodie and you want to edit a whole bunch of stories together. You go to a bunch of different restaurants, try out food. Now you could throw those all into a highlight and have all your cinematic food videos all in one place. To make the most out of these stories, you have to have an actual story. It's like anything else. If you don't have a story, it's not going to make sense, and chances are people are just going to skip it. If you are trying to film something, whether it's, you just go into the park or anything like that, try to make a story out of it. Or maybe you're just, going to school or going to work. Make a little story out of that. Once you have all your footage, you go back home, you're super excited to edit it all together. I personally use Final Cut Pro X. That's just what I use. Maybe you use something else. Maybe you use a free software, Adobe Premiere, it doesn't really matter. Make the opposite of a 1080p timeline. So instead of 1080 by 1920, you want to make it 1920 by 1080 or whatever way it is. That'll give you a vertical frame instead of a horizontal frame. Once you've done that and you're dropping in all your footage, chances are it's all going to be sideways because the fact that you filmed vertically. You want to change the rotation by 90 degrees and then you want to scale it by 180. That's just the settings I find work in Final Cut Pro X. It should work for you. If it doesn't, just play around with the settings and you'll figure it out.